One high-limit sprint car driver took his team a different direction late in 2024, and his choice is starting to bear fruit. We'll deep dive that today, plus talk Brandon Sheppard's up and downs, and two drivers with an uncle who is one of the best ever are set to hit the big stage. Let's go. It's Wednesday, June 25th. I'm Justin Fiedler. This is DIRTRACKR Daily presented by Kubota Genuine Parts. Real quick before we get started, if you like what we do here 5 days a week, please consider subscribing to the show on YouTube, the podcast places, or like and follow on Facebook. It's free to do that everywhere, and it will help keep you in the loop on everything happening in dirt racing. You can watch full episodes of the Daily on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. You can also listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and at DIRTRACKR.com. And then full show transcripts also available at DIRTRACKR.com. We are across 43,000 subscribers right now on YouTube and past 41,000 on Facebook, with the goal for the year at 50,000 for both platforms. So come along, won't you? Back in 2024, there was twice during the year where we spotlighted sprint cars that were using a different suspension setup than is the norm. The first was the Sammy Swindell, Flea Ruzick, Sean Wood science experiment that showed up at the Knoxville Nationals. That car was on coilover shocks, but the right front shock was actually mounted inboard. Those guys continued to iterate on that car, and it raced a bit more as the season went on. The other driver who ended up switching away from a traditional torsion bar setup later in the year was Tanner Thorson. He hit up some POWRi shows at Texas in October between high-limit races and has really been on the coilovers ever since. With a traditional setup, a torsion arm is connected to the torsion bar, and that bar twisting basically replaces what most of us know as the springs in the car's suspension. As the front and rear axle moves, that pushes on the arm, and you get that twisting from the bar, which effectively acts as the springs. And then shocks are in place to control your compression and rebound. With Thorson's car, though, there are no torsion bars, no torsion arms, and all of that is now contained in the coilover shock spring combination. Last year, Flea Ruzick told me they went this direction because they have more options for tuning, they can change spring rates easier, there's less bind, and the coilovers react quicker. And all of that sounds great, so why don't more teams do this? Well, with so many more options, it can be tougher to find the right window to get everything into for that to work right. And that would mean a lot more practice and testing to start dialing everything in. And for top-level teams, there just often isn't enough time for those types of things. It's a big risk to go that direction. One friend told me, go buy a new Maxim, 4,000-pound torsion bars, and be pretty close for a lot of racetracks. There are a lot of notebooks on torsion bars. Guys go fast doing it, so why take the risk and go away from it? For a guy like Thorson, though, he's done a bunch of midget racing where coilovers are more common. He works on all of his own stuff, so all of this is already familiar to him. Going out full-time with high limit was always going to be a tough road, and while he showed he can win and go fast with bars, he also has at least some leeway to experiment. Since switching, though, results for him have been mixed. He'd been fast, he'd had some top 10 finishes, he led laps at Tri-City with high limit, he won a POWRi show at Creek County back in April, but also plenty of tough nights, finishes outside the top 15, 9 high-limit B-main appearances. That race at Tri-City, though, seemed like it was maybe a turning point. He started up front, led laps, probably should have had a top 5 finish there, but had issues late and ended up 17th. From there, though, 11th at Kokomo, top 10s at Ransomville and Grandview, and 11th at the Weicker. Then things really seemed like they started to click. 4th at Butler, 3rd at Red Cedar, 2nd at 141, top 10s with the Outlaws in Wisconsin, and more good runs since then. 7 straight top 9 finishes in a 410 sprint car, especially against the national tours, is not something we had seen from Thorson previously. And even though he missed the Friday night feature at Huset's, still a solid weekend there. So what's different lately? Asking around some friends in the pit area, it sounds like Thorson has just really been able to hone in a lot of his package, not just the coilovers, but also maybe some engine stuff and general car setup. It also helps that he's getting a lot more seat time. Something like half of his career 410 sprint car starts have happened in just the last year and a half. Small improvements all the way around have helped that 88 be better, and then it doesn't hurt to have a Hall of Famer like Stevie Smith in your corner. Smith, 12th all-time with the Outlaws and wins with 84. Qualifying has been an issue for Thorson, but a lot of these good finishes lately have come on nights where he times better. The difference this year, though, is even when he doesn't time as well, he's passing a lot more cars come feature time. He leads high limit in feature plus minus, and even though his average start is down, his average finish is better. Better adjustments before the main show and better racecraft is really paying off. In 2024, Thorson was 13th in the high limit standings by year's end. Right now, he sits 7th and is well in line to earn a high limit franchise. That's a significant turnaround. I think wins aren't far off, and maybe Thorson will inspire others to try different paths in sprint car racing. In Tuesday Summer Nationals action at Springfield Raceway, Tyler Erb went to victory lane for the third time this season. He battled Kyle Bronson early on, took the lead right before halfway. He then went the distance from there, topping Ashton Winger and Brandon Sheppard. A number of flat tires last night kind of derailed guys, guys that ran up front, Bronson, Dalton Wilson, Dylan McCowan, all of those guys, and a few others actually who ran up front had issues. Last night's 17th to 3rd charge for Bishop was his first podium finish in any dirt late model race in nearly a month, going back to Mars shows at LaSalle at the end of May. He had issues on Sunday at Lincoln after super trucking overnight from Lernerville and went out at a B-main, and that was after being 14th at the Firecracker. It looked back in April like maybe Sheppard was starting to turn things around with Rocket. He won the Illini 100, then his next start at Cedar County. And there have been some good runs since then, including 2 seconds during Illinois Speed Week, but Shep hasn't been able to find victory lane again in either the house car or the family B5. It sounds like he'll be back in action tonight at Tri-City, so maybe he can get a shot there. Last night's win for Erb, while Jason Fager ended up 9th, did give Turbo the overall Summer Nationals points lead, and he's now in the driver's seat early here for the Week 3 title. Tonight's show will also feature the modified Nationals drivers. Starting on Thursday, the World of Outlaws late models head north for a 4-day trip through Minnesota and North Dakota. They've got stops at I-94, River Cities, Norman County, and Nodak. The focus is going to be, out front on the big names, Bobby Pierce, Nick Hoffman, Ryan Gustin, Ryan Shirley, maybe some of the Lucas guys will roll through. But a pair of drivers will be making their World of Outlaws late model debut, and that pair has a famous and highly decorated dirt racing uncle. Layla and Amelia Eisenshank are 17-year-old twin sisters from North Dakota who regularly race 410 and Race Saver sprint cars and WISSOTA late models in the area under the Donny Schatz Racing banner. If you're going to go racing, what better way than to rely on an uncle who's won 10 World of Outlaws sprint car championships? Amelia has 4 top 5s and 13 top 10s in 25 races this year, and Layla has a trio of Race Saver sprint car wins to go along with 6 top 5s and 12 top 10s in 31 races. Layla also ran during the Tulsa Shootout this season, and Amelia was in the field for the Gateway Dirt Nationals last December. The duo will drive a pair of identically wrapped late models with Layla in the 15 and Amelia in the 1, and they plan on appearing at all 4 shows this weekend. And since the World of Outlaws sprint cars are only a few hundred miles away at Cedar Lake this weekend, I would not be surprised if Uncle Donny Schatz was hanging around at least on Thursday, maybe on Sunday, kind of before and after. So keep your eyes peeled if you see these guys on Dirt Vision. If you want some dirt racing today besides the Summer Nationals, there are also several local shows around the country. Stop by DIRTRACKR.com/watch tonight to see what your streaming options are any day of the week. That's the show for today. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday out there. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.